Hello and welcome back to another Marks Mondays, and I remembered what it was called this time. Today I thought I would talk about the ever decreasing park-ups, the difficulty in finding park-ups. Will it affect van life? Is it worth getting into van life? Would I get into van life if I was in a different position? If I was living in an house at the moment, would I still go into van life? For someone who's considering it, is it worth you guys still thinking about it and all that sort of stuff? So if that's of interest to you, this is what this video is all about. So let's start off with where will it go? What will happen if they do keep decreasing park? Before I carry on, can I just say, like, I've had a couple of comments saying please avoid political stuff and the government and stuff like that, but the way I see it is, if the park-ups are being taken away from us, it's the councils that are doing it, and it's the government that's pressurising them to do it, because the government is not funding the councils anymore. So I don't think government is actually targeting van life at all. I don't think councils are targeting van life at all. I think, like, a lot of people saying we bring YouTubers, that is, highlight the van life situation, and it's not good for van lifers. But I don't think government and councils are too bothered about the number of people living in vans. I think they would like to tax us on it, which I think is where we're going at the moment. They see that there's a lot of people going away for weekends, a lot of weekend warriors, whatever you like to call them. To me, we're all van lifers the same. So yeah, I don't think we are the target of a let's get rid of a van life campaign. I think it's just greedy councils trying to make money out of everything that they can at the moment. That's where I see this is. So it's up to us to not pay the fees. I mean, if you keep paying money to park up down by the seafront, and I see a lot of people, what's it called, is it the Campara or something like that, camper group, that support the councils in charging 10, 15, 20 pound a night to park, and I don't support that. I'm the sort of person that wants the park ups to be free for everyone, so that everyone can enjoy it. Why should it be down to a select few? I had trouble getting that out. Why should it be down to a select few that can afford to pay for these expensive places to park each night to have the prime spots? Why shouldn't it be available for everyone to use? Who comes first served, basically. That's the way I see and how it should be, and that's what I would support. And I would actually support a length of stay, say 1 or 2 nights. I'd hate seeing people park up on a spot and then sit there for 6 months. I don't think that's fair, because if you're living in a van, the whole point of living in a van, to me, is having the freedom to roam and explore. And if you're staying in one place for the next 6 months, that's not exactly what you're doing. Although I can see why some people do it, because they can't afford to move, or their van's broken down, and all sorts of things. People have got their reasons, or it's an area where they know that they may like the area or have family in the area. So I can see all those reasons. If that's you, tell me in the comments below why you sit and not move for long periods. I mean, to me, it's a little bit odd that you would live in a van and you don't go places. But I can understand why. So again, yeah, I don't think us putting places to park on YouTube is highlighting the van life situation. I think van life has been going for a number of years, certainly way before I got into it. I mean, if you go back to the days of oh Christ, I've forgotten what it was called now. The Beanfields protest down at Stonehenge and around Avesbury. there was travellers, hippies, whatever you want to call them, living in vans, and it's been going since then. I mean, so it's nothing new, is it? And I don't think we are a target. I think all that is happening is councils are struggling. They're looking for any which way they can pinch another penny off of somebody else. And motorists, van lifers are an easy target. And if you want to pay £15, £25, £30 a night to park on the seafront, and you will pay it, then the prices will just continue to rise. So it's up to us lot to say, no, we won't pay it. We won't go there anymore. And that's where I think van life will go. If we are, what'll happen is they will take away all the nice beauty spots. That's what will end up happening to van life. The councils will charge all the picnic areas, the forests, the seafronts, anywhere that the van groups congregate in numbers will be taken away, and you'll be charged to park there eventually. That's the way I see it. It'll almost become like campsite fees just to park your motorhome. And will that totally stop van life in general? It will make making a video for YouTube difficult, because you'll get some shitty park ups, to be honest. And that's where I am at the moment. If I can't park in a pretty area looking out at sea, or looking into a forest, or over the hills, or something like that, if I was restricted to just being able to park outside somebody's house on a side road, then that's what I would do. So yeah, I would still get into van life. I'd still buy a van if I wanted to live van life. It's not all about pretty park ups, is it? That's not what van life is about. You can still travel to places. You can still go out to the hills and enjoy paddle boarding or hill walking and walking in the forest and stuff like that. You just won't be able to park there overnight. And that's where I am. That's the way I feel about it. I think at the moment that if I can't park in a beautiful area, then I'll just move outside somebody's house, unfortunately. I don't want to. So if you're somebody that thinks, oh, he shouldn't be saying that, I don't want to park outside somebody's house. I don't want to be parked on a side road. I'd rather be parked out in the hills somewhere, away from everyone. And that's what I want. But if councils and people are going to protest and say we shouldn't be allowed to do that, we should be made to pay, which I really don't get people's mentality of make somebody pay for something that is just your normal way of life, your freedom to live a normal life and be free to park. I mean, if you're going to say make camper vans, make them pay, let's make car owners pay as well. I mean, some areas they do. In London, I grew up in London, and pretty much when I was growing up, when I first got my first few cars, you could park anywhere, and even around near West Ham football grounds. But now everything is pay and display, restricted permanent parking and stuff like that. So you can't park places like that anymore. And that's what will happen everywhere else you go. The councils will bill you to park. So I will park on residential streets, out the way, as quiet as possible, and then go and visit the hills and the lakes and wherever else during the day, and just move off on the evenings, like we did at Lytham St Anne's. If you haven't seen that video, maybe go watch the Lytham St Anne's video, because we done something very similar there. There was parking restrictions brought in, and we just went off to one of the back streets in the evening. So that's what will happen. I mean, these people that are encouraging the councils to ban parking on seafronts and beauty spots and picnic areas, if your idea is to ban all this, take it away from motorhomers and van lifers, thinking that it will make us sell up our vans, then it won't. The only thing that might make me consider selling up my van, if paper mile comes in and it becomes so extortionate that I can't afford to drive the van anymore. But then I look at it that sorry then I look at it because I think paper mile is on its way. Either paper mile or a very big increase in fuel duty is what I think where it might go. There's two sides to that story, and that's what I see. Big increase in fuel duty or paper mile is what I see coming soon. And if that does come in, then I'll look at other means of how I survive. But that will take away, if people are paying bills in houses and you own a vehicle, you own a car, van or anything else, that will hit you lot even harder, because I mean you've got your house to pay for as well as your van. So van life in general will totally crash in that respect. Driving will crash. And then the other thing is, what I don't get is councils will lose the fuel duty, which they're already saying with the very small number of electric cars on the road. They're saying it's causing a shortfall in the taxes raised by fuel duty. Well, why would you increase or encourage electric cars if it's taking away your fuel duty and you're struggling? Where are you going to get that money from? Let's say everyone in the country, let's say 2030, everyone had electric cars. You're going to have to tax those. Electric cars have got to pay tax because the council needs their money to run the councils. So I mean, so it makes no sense. Is it all about the environment? And I'll say no, it's totally not about the environment, because cars nowadays are cleaner than they've ever been. And I think it's been proven that Sadiq's ULEZ tax has not made any difference whatsoever to the environment in London. So what are they talking about? Why are they saying it's about the environment? That they're just using the issues. And again, this is why having a van life channel, you can't really avoid talking about political things, because the political government councils are saying it's all to do with environment. And I'm for the environment. I'd actually like to think I do care about the environment, but some of it you've got to let go over your head, because you can't screw everyone's way of living. You can't take everyone's vehicle away and expect them never to go out anymore and go to work for nothing. Why would people be going to work just to live in an house when they've got no enjoyment from it? So yeah, that puzzles me as well. I mean, the old eco people that want to get rid of oil, I don't know how they think they're going to get food in the shops, and I don't think how they think the country is going to run in winter when it's snowing and it's freezing cold and raining outside. Do you think everyone's going to cycle to work? We just don't have the climate for that. So again, I can't really totally avoid political things on the channel, really, can I? Because that is all part of what the government is telling us is the reason why they're bringing in paper mile and ULEZs and banning motorhomes that are only like 5 or 10 years old, and they want them off the road. I mean, people, how can you expect? I mean, this van cost me 50 grand, and in 5 years it's almost going to become useless. It will still be driving. It'll still be drivable. There'll be nothing wrong with it. It'll run, but I won't be allowed to drive it because the fuel duty or the taxes will be so high, and that's when van life may hit me. But then again, I'm of an age where it might not matter to me anymore. I might not be here, and I think today's society, today's kids, are totally overlooking that. They're overlooking the fact that if they support the government's ecological take everything away from people because it'll save the environment idea, they themselves won't be allowed on planes, they won't be allowed on cars, they won't be allowed to own a car, that they will be given a transport system that they will pay for, and that they'll own very little themselves. Like people have said, it's the old mentality of you'll own nothing and be happy. Well, people won't be happy, I won't be happy, and I would certainly be supporting any revolution that came along in the future if I was put under so much pressure that I couldn't live a normal life. And I think a lot of people will. I think that's where it will end up going. Yeah, so is it worth getting into van life if you haven't got a van at the moment? I would certainly say, yeah, of course it is. And as I've said, if you own an house, living in a van is going to be cheaper than living in an house and owning a vehicle. I mean, you've cut out the house out the equation, the bills of all the house. So I'd say that's a no-brainer by itself. That's the whole reason why I got into van life from the beginning. I didn't want to be paying for an house and going back, sitting down, watching TV each night. I wanted to have an interesting life, a life of freedom, a life of doing what I want to do. So that only puts you a step closer. I mean, if you've got an house and you're trying to run a vehicle, then you're even further away from that. Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification. Give me that thumbs up, and see you on the next one.